Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Azzy's making money thanks to the new CBA.
Incredible stuff.
Her
good stuff.
Rookie contract. She is projected to make $500,000 this year, and just in comparison, Paige made $78,000 last year, and Caitlin Clark made $76,000.
Anytime we get workers getting paid what they're worth, I'm all for it.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies, take your fandom to the next level by becoming an MVP.
How long have you been an MVP? Since day one.
Enjoy the great benefits of being a season ticket member. Pre-game MVP moments, including Autograph Alley, exclusive Grizz gear deals, access to member or MVP-only player events, and much more.
He's been an MVP for 22 years!
Become a Grizzlies MVP today.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. We're in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope that if I'm ever in a studio and tested the way Charles Barkley was tested by Draymond Green last night, that I am mature enough to take it the way Charles Barkley took it, because I don't think I would be. Interesting situation on Inside the NBA last night. Shaq took the night off. Draymond came in studio. I guess went for a cheap laugh at the expense of Charles Barkley. Just made for an awkward television moment. We'll get there momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, Michael Wallace going to join me, senior editor, Grind City Media. Lottery is set for on Sunday. By the time we're back here on Monday morning, we'll know exactly where the Grizzlies are slotted to pick in the 2026 NBA Draft. Michael Wallace will join me in the next segment. I'll talk NBA playoffs and draft stuff with him. Finish talking to him, take a break, come back. 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, former Kentucky star Dennis was asked on a podcast hosted by Lou Williams yesterday why his Wildcats are struggling to recruit these days relative to the way Kentucky used to recruit. His answer was honest and hilarious. I'll share it with you. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Michigan coach Dusty May continues to have his name attached to NBA jobs. Orlando is one, maybe Golden State another. Update you on that situation just a bit. The Players Era Festival has set its fields for November 2026. Big tournaments out in Las Vegas. A lot of money to be made. I'll tell you how this is the type of thing that is also working against Tiger basketball. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Golden Tempo, it has been announced, will not run in the Preakness Stakes. This is the second straight year the Derby winner is skipping the second leg of the Triple Crown. Not ideal for the sport of horse racing. Tell you more about that situation. We'll do it in the third segment. And TMZ is reporting that Patriots coach Mike Vrabel and longtime NFL insider Diana Rossini rented a boat together by themselves in June 2021. while she was very pregnant with a baby, she would later name Michael.
Okay.
Bennett, this one, this story has gone from, well, this is interesting, to this is kind of, It's got to be a little bit of a weird story.
Yeah.
I'll give you the latest. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start in the NBA because, day 19 of the 2026 NBA playoffs, it is now in the books. We had 2 more games. They were played last night. One was in New York. One was in San Antonio. Both went the way they were expected to go. Only one of the games was competitive. Final score, Knicks 108, Sixers 102. That was the close one, but the Knicks still win. No Joel Embiid on Philadelphia's side. Final score, Spurs 133, Timberwolves 95. Wemby, of course, got a double-double. So now New York is up 2-0 and headed to Philadelphia. San Antonio, Minnesota, it's tied 1-1, headed to Minneapolis. Big Bet Bennett, good to see you on this Thursday morning.
See you, man.
Any thoughts on last night's games? Neither were. I just found myself kind of bored sitting in my chair.
I mean, yeah, sure, same. I think like the one thing, because I don't know if we got the Joel Embiid news yesterday on this show. I think it was after we got off air, but that just kind of, him being out last night, just that kind of just, it feels like the culmination of the whole, and he's still got like 2 years left on his deal. Like he's there. It's a weird spot because you've got these 2 young stars in Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. You're in the second round of the playoffs. I still think they could make this a series. I believe that. But it's like, the face of the, what was their slogan forever? What was
Trust the process.
The face of Trust the Process. He's still there, but he's not playing in a big game. And it's just like, man, that kind of sums up the Joel Embiid experience in Philly.
He's just got a bad body.
He's just got a bad body. I mean, I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, like, it's a weird spot. You're in the second round of the playoffs, and this guy that's been the face of this thing for so long isn't there again.
And it's like it's a hip, it's an ankle, but like he's also had an emergency appendicitis late in the season. Like it's just been one thing after another his entire career. And that's the issue for them in Philadelphia, is that when he is healthy and the rest of the important pieces are on the court with him,
you get to the second round of the playoffs.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you just cannot rely on him being there.
Right.
And he wasn't there last night. It sort of took a little bit of the excitement out of the game, I think, because it's like, well, the Sixers aren't going to go in the Garden and win one without Joel Embiid. Turns out the game was actually competitive and tight into the fourth, but it's just sort of the doubleheader last night hit me like this. I don't really need to pay close attention to game 1 because it feels like the Knicks are going to win it one way or another in the absence of Joel Embiid. Can't wait for game 2. And then it was just lopsided blowout. Wemby double-double. He's doing ridiculous things. And it just got away from Minnesota very, very quickly and dramatically. And so now they'll go back home, still in possession of home court advantage. Now it's a best-of-5 series with game 3 on tap. The biggest thing that happened last night in the context of the NBA was a moment between Charles Barkley and Draymond Green.
Yeah.
So let's settle here for a second.
Okay.
As you know, inside the NBA, it's been a staple on television for a long time. It's won all of the awards. It is widely, or at least has been widely recognized as the best studio show in sports. I think some of the shine has come off of it a little bit for a variety of reasons. People don't love it the way they used to love it. I think the NBC guys, that group has been great. The Amazon Prime Video studio crew, I like them as well. So there was a time where you could ask people, what's your favorite NBA studio show? And like you might get 100% inside the NBA. I don't know that you would get that now, but either way, it's still a big deal. Typically with Ernie, Charles, Shaq, and Kenny. Last night, Shaquille O'Neal took the night off. Draymond Green came in and sat in studio at the desk with Ernie, Charles, and Kenny. And at one point, Charles is talking to Draymond and more or less saying, you guys have had an incredible run. What you've accomplished at Golden State is awesome. 4 championships, all that stuff. But basketball is a young man's game. You're 36 years old. Steph is even older. It's over for you guys. you've done some great stuff, but if you think you're going to do all this great stuff again, I just don't see it. And at some point, Kenny Smith invites Draymond Green to respond, and he went for what sounded like looked like he went for a laugh. It did not land. It felt awkward. Let's watch it, then we'll discuss.
Nobody wins when they're 37-38.
But you said what you said. I want to hear if he believes what you're talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal is just to not look like you in the Houston Rockets uniform.
Yeah.
Is ultimately the goal for us. Like, we don't want to.
What does that look like?
Did you see it? I'm just asking. I saw it.
So he goes on from there for another minute and a half, and Charles just sits there, straight face looking right at him, and he lets him just go. And then they go to commercial, and the rest of the night is the rest of the night. What did you make of that moment?
I mean, clearly the joke didn't land. At least like, not in the studio.
You know what I got? Here's what it felt like to me in that moment.
Yeah.
We can make fun of Charles for a lack of championships and whatever else we want to. But who do you think you are coming in here and trying to make jokes about you don't want to look like he looked in Houston? Because here's the truth, buddy. The way Charles Barkley looked in Houston, you ready for this? Probably better than you've ever looked in your own career at any point.
He averaged a double-double his entire career in Houston, the 4 years, yeah.
In his last year at the age of 36, Charles Barkley averaged 14.5 points and 10.5 rebounds. You ready for this? Draymond Green, in any season in his entire career, in his best season, whatever you think that is, has never averaged 14.5 points and has never averaged 10.5 rebounds. And that's the thing he says he's trying to avoid. We just don't want to look like Charles Barkley in a Houston Rockets uniform. That is a wild thing to say straight to a Hall of Famer, former MVP's face. I know that he would say, I thought we were just playing around. But there's a line between playing around and now you're just being disrespectful, and that felt wildly disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like that show, that there's a lot of comedy involved in that show, right? Like those guys all poke fun at each other.
That's right.
They do. I just like that one. That one, it just didn't land because it didn't make any sense. Like, it's like, bro, he was good in Houston. Like, he actually was a really good player in Houston. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just the latest example of this guy not recognizing who he is and how the world views him. And it's like the second time this week that it's come up. Like, Austin Rivers has to look at him and go, who do you think you are? And then the whole world has to look at him last night because we were all watching him on TV. And the whole internet is like, who does this guy think that he is? And like I said, Charles Barkley is really as he appears on television. What you see is what you get. Charles Barkley and I aren't best friends, but we have worked together a little. We've been around each other a little as recently as this past March and April. He is exactly as you would think he is, a nice person who makes time for everybody and actually goes out of his way to make you feel good about yourself. Like, he's one of those types of people. You know people like that? They go out of their way to try to make other people feel good. Yep. He is like that. Like, I will randomly, get into an elevator and there's 6 other people in there, and Charles will take the time to just like say something nice to me about, hey, I saw this thing and that was really good. Like, he's just that kind of person. My point is this. If he weren't, I would crush this. If I had the power that Charles Barkley had, perhaps I'm petty, but if I had the power that Charles Barkley had, and he has a lot, he is among the most powerful people in sports media. After this guy does this to me, after other things he sort of said, getting slick, I would just make it very clear. You guys better start making the decision. Who you want around here? Because it ain't going to be me and him. I would throw. I want to be clear. I don't think I've ever had that kind of weight to throw around. But if I were Charles Barkley and I had that kind of weight to throw around, I would throw it around as it pertains to Draymond Green. I'd say, you guys, before you bring him and set him at a desk with me again, just know that I'll start looking for another play. You guys need to decide what you want, because I'm not going to sit here on a show that I helped build and get disrespected by somebody who in every way imaginable is a lesser individual than me. He's never even sniffed the things that I sniffed as a player. And to have him sit here and be disrespectful, not in a way we're all joking around. Like you go back and watch that clip, there is no laughs. Nobody's laughing. We're not joking around. You just said, when Charles is very politely trying to say, you guys, what you did was amazing, but look at your birth certificates. It's probably over. Your response is to be, maybe, but we still don't look as bad as you looked in Houston. And then even Kenny was like, well, what does that even mean? What do you mean? And he's like, did you see it? I saw it. It's just a total lack of self-awareness. That if I were Charles Barkley, like I had a hard time not getting into a real aggressive argument last night when we went to commercial if somebody had said something like that to me. Am I off? Am I off here?
No, I mean, I think that like Charles, I mean, in a nice way, that he did kind of like start it with saying it's over for y'all.
But like in what? But that's not even like a.
I know, but I mean, he's just trying to think of a comeback on the fly. But
he was trying to be funny. It did not work.
No, it didn't. It did not land. It will be interesting to see, like, because they've had him on a bunch over the years recently, and so it does seem like he is the obvious replacement for whoever leaves that show eventually. Whether it's Charles first, Shaq first, Kenny first. Like
maybe I'm too petty.
Yeah,
I would be trying to crush that. If I had the power to crush it, I'd crush it.
But I mean, I feel like that those guys want him to be. They could have done that already. Like, I feel like they want him to be a part of it.
Well, he's good in the sense that
He's not. He's not funny. Like, he's not like that show. We talked about, like, that show is funny. That's why a lot of people.
He has a hard time laughing at himself.
I saw someone make that point too, and it was a good point. Like, yeah, he's not. Chuck can make fun of himself. Shaq can make fun of himself. Even Kenny can make fun. Like, Draymond doesn't really do that.
Shaq struggles with it a little bit. Like, Shaq can laugh, but he will always be quick to remind you
who he is.
I got all these rings and I did all these things and nobody could stop me. He'll get there where Charles just will sort of sit there. Charles never brings up, I was the MVP. Mm-hmm. In a time when Michael Jordan played, I was the MVP. He doesn't bring that up. For as many times as people bring up, you didn't win a championship, he never counters with, have you looked at what I did do, though? He doesn't go there. He just sort of takes it. And maybe that's just a level of maturity that I should aspire to. But if I had the power to end this guy's media career at this desk, I would do it.
Yeah, I think too.
Because to your point, I don't know if he's good, Draymond, but what makes him compelling is he will talk shit on anybody. He doesn't care. Like, he will tell you how much he hates somebody that he has to play against tomorrow and then deal with it. Some people struggle with that. Like, I'm going to say what I got to say as long as I don't have to see somebody face to face. It's much easier to say anything when this is where it ends, right here. When you got to go see somebody face to face tomorrow, it's a harder thing to get out. And yet Draymond does not struggle with that at all. He'll say whatever and then pick up the phone and talk to you about it. Like, he will talk on KD, he'll talk on anybody. That's what makes him compelling. That's why he gets the opportunities. So in that respect, he's good, obviously. But good, I don't care how good you are. If you're disrespectful to me in that way, a show that I built, I don't know. I just watched that last night. I was mad on behalf of Charles Barkley.
I think a lot of people were.
Like, just a certain level of respect that is not there. And I get it. I'm sure he was just going for a joke, but it did not. Nobody laughed. You know what it sort of felt like? Go find this. When Doug Gottlieb was on a desk, might have been, I don't know, but it was like inside Doug worked for CBS. It was merging with Turner, and suddenly he's on a desk with Charles and Kenny, and he felt like, I got to get in here and yuck it up and be funny. And he said something like, I'm just here to provide the white man's perspective. And he thought it was going to get a laugh across the desk. and everybody just went.
Yikes.
It was just
cringe.
Yeah, cringe. And Doug took a beating online. And last night that felt like that. Like Draymond was going for something in an attempt to try to be one of the guys and be funny and take a shot. And it just did not land at all. Go watch it on your own time. Again, there's no laughs. And Charles, if we had the extended clip, he just sits there the whole time. And he's like almost staring through it. It's like this.
Yep.
The whole rest of the clip is like that. I was ready to fight for Charles Barkley last night. Let's see what Michael Wallace thinks.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball. But the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. A class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Each challenge is unique, so each game plan is customized to identify opportunity and the path to victory. It's true in basketball, it's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle with personalized planning and advice. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by May 30th, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Kevin Garnett returned to Minnesota. How awesome was this? Look at this.
That's love right there.
When he walks in, and they brought him out of the tunnel. They're like, welcome back. They played like a tribute video.
That's the reason why guys like TA and them are here, bro.
This is the best.
You want to see the OGs back showing love.
It's the best. That is the best. Nothing has felt more wrong than Kevin Garnett not being a part of that.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and on Thursdays in the second segment, I am joined by Michael Wallace, senior editor of Grind City Media. He's here right now. Michael Wallace is GP. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, GP? Hope all is good, man. Hey, did you see the exercise that our social media team is doing in the office every day now? Yesterday's was, do you parallel? How do you back into your space, or do you pull into your space? And the verdict was like split.
Okay, this is one where I've completely come around. I used to question you. As a man, watching you back into your parking spot. I said, I don't understand people who back into parking spots. And then I got a car that I can hit a button and then it backs it. So I like to back in now, and I do it like this. I back in and I just hold my hands up in the air and I let it do it. I just sort of do like this, and it's perfect. So I'm now a back in guy. Okay, I'm now a back-end guy when the situation presents itself. So today's question, Darby's in charge of it. She's running a family feud out there every day. Okay, today's question was, when it comes to a brownie, do you want the corner piece of the brownie or the middle piece of the brownie? How you feel about that?
Ooh, man. I kind of want the corner piece, man. I like the crust. I like the crispness of the corner piece, man. With especially if it's buttery and chocolate. I like the corner piece. Get a little crunch.
I voted for the middle. I went middle. I'm a middle brownie guy.
Two Americas, man. Two Americas.
It's a two Americas thing, no question. All right, listen. I was watching Inside the NBA last night. Doubleheader on ESPN. And at one point, Charles Barkley's talking to Draymond Green, and he's like, listen, you guys have done what you did and got those rings, and it's a dynasty, and congratulations. But you are 36 years old. Steph's a little older, and it just might be done at this point. Like, the best things you guys have ever done, those are probably in your rearview mirror, which, if we're being honest, is, like, true. Like, the best things they've ever done is almost certainly in the rearview mirror. So then Draymond is presented with an opportunity to respond. And he said, well, our goal is just never to look like you looked when you were in a Houston Rockets uniform. It seems to me he was going for a joke. It did not land. It made for an awkward situation where Charles just stared through him for the next minute, but never said a word. I said in the opening segment, I don't assume, in fact, I'm certain I'll never have the type of power in any set of circumstances that Charles Barkley has at Turner TNT. Yeah. And he just must be a better man than I am, because if I had an inferior athlete and inferior broadcaster come on the show I built and talk crazy like that to me, I would squash that if I had the power to do it. Does that just make me immature?
No, it doesn't make you immature, man. It makes you ripe for today's media landscape when it comes to the broadcasting table. You know, I watched that whole thing, and it was awkward. I know exactly the exchange that you're talking about. And I remember in real time feeling like the Draymond part of it, I think, was intended as kind of a dig and a joke, a ha-ha, I got you back. And it didn't land that way.
Right.
But I also thought Chuck was a little bit over the top with the y'all are done. Like, he was almost offensive to Draymond, almost disrespectful, saying this is over with. You know, you need to go somewhere else if you want to win. Steph needs to go somewhere else if he wants to win. I thought it was unfair. I got Charles's point, and I felt like he made it, but I felt like he was hammering down on it. And Draymond felt like, okay, man, I answered the first time, and I said, hey, you know, we're competitors. We think we still got a little bit left. But then when Charles came back, and it was, okay, it's fair, man. Like, Charles in Houston was painful to watch. As a matter of fact, he blew out his knee in Houston. That ended his career. And he came back for one more ceremonial game to make sure he put the uniform on and walked off the court under his own power. That's how it ended. But, yeah, it was really, really awkward. For sure.
I think the reason you get the reaction, perhaps for myself and from the internet, is that what we're watching is this isn't just a one-off for Draymond Green. He has a habit of talking as if he's a former MVP when he's so obviously not. And often he is talking, like, what I saw in that moment is a guy popping off about a former MVP's career without recognizing you were never that guy as a player. You were Steph and Clay and Katie's teammates, so you got the championships, but you were never Charles Barkley. Here's the truth. I got, like, mad on behalf of Charles Barkley, like, who are you to talk to him like that? And there's a decent chance Charles Barkley, it just rolled right off of him. He does not even care, and they were laughing about it the second they went to commercial. I acknowledge that as well, but maybe this is just a me thing. I don't like watching people be disrespectful to folks who have really accomplished stuff. And, like, when I see people goofing on Russell Westbrook all the time, I'm like, man, Russell Westbrook is amazing. And he gets turned into a punchline all the time. I think I just have a real problem with that. Like, I'm a big respect your elders and respect accomplishments and respect greatness type of thing. And when I see it not happening, it bothers me.
It is, and I think it's because of the messenger. Like, Draymond, just a guy that but then again, Charles rubs a lot of people wrong too. So it was like kind of they deserve each other in that moment. That's how I dismissed it. But yeah, I thought for Draymond to be able to get that one off, he had to know that it might not land right. You know what I mean? And he didn't care. But I also thought, like, it was a defense mechanism for him, because, like I said, I think the Charles barb and the y'all are done, y'all are washed, I think that hit first. And Draymond is like, yo, hold up, man. Like, dude, you've never won one championship. I won 4, right? So it's almost like I'm not in the camp where, and I know this is also stemming from sort of the Rivers, Austin Rivers and Draymond beef. To me, like, Draymond's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, at the end of the day, his resume is going to stack up favorably compared to a lot of these guys, anybody else on that set. Charles Barkley was an MVP, but he never got to the championship level that Draymond and his team. Now, granted, Charles was clearly the best player on every team he's ever been on. Draymond was the third or fourth best player. But I still say Draymond was as essential to what the Warriors did as Dennis Rodman was to what the Bulls did in their second three-peat. Like, what he did defensively and what he did as a quarterback of that defense put all of those other guys who weren't defenders. Steph Curry's not a defender. He's a minus defender. KD's not a defender, really. Clay is a defender. But Draymond's resume speaks for itself, man. I think he had a little bit of he had the ability to say what he had to say. He could stand on what he stood on.
Let's talk games. We had a doubleheader last night. The first one was competitive, but in the absence of Joel Embiid, I don't think many people gave the Sixers a decent chance to go in and pull off the upset. They made it close, but they couldn't get it done. They're now down 2-0 in that best-of-7 series. And the Embiid thing, it's just depressing. Like, this is a guy who he just has a body that will not cooperate with him. It is always something with him, and here we are again.
Yeah, it is. And, again, like, for him to come back, he came back before a lot of people expected him to. I wasn't expecting to see Joel Embiid at all throughout the playoffs. The credit Philly, though, because they still were able to adjust and be competitive in game two without him. Now they have another opportunity to continue that process. And I think that I wouldn't be surprised if I look up and this thing is 2-2, going back to New York for game 5. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. So, I don't think that they're done. And perhaps Joel Embiid will come back, but it's just sad, man, because again, his body is not cooperating with the talent that he has. This is sort of an extended version of, an MVP kind of limping along throughout his career, hoping that he still can reclaim some of that glory. We see it from game to game every now and then, but he just can't sustain it, and it's got to be tough if you're Philadelphia, because you can't rely on that every night.
In the second game, I think that's the one most folks were looking forward to after Minnesota stole game 1 in San Antonio. How would Wemby and the Spurs bounce back? Answer, impressively, 133-95. It was a 7-point game after 1, a 24-point game at the half, a 35-point game after 3. I think that's the point where I put my head on the pillow and said night-night. San Antonio reestablished themselves in this series. That wasn't a must-win last night, but you certainly don't want to go down 0-2 with both losses coming at home.
I think San Antonio found what they needed to find. I think they kind of just got, they had that time off. They had a little bit of a delay, waiting to get back into it. That intensity wasn't there in game 1. And I think Ant Edwards gave his team a little bit of extra juice that they wouldn't have had if he didn't come back and play. I think right now, man, and listen, this is no disrespect for Minnesota, but I think this is a gentleman's sweep from this point forward. I don't think Minnesota is capable of putting up the points necessary to keep up with San Antonio right now, especially with the way San Antonio defends at every single position. There is not a weak link defensively on San Antonio whatsoever in terms of getting in the passing lanes, deflections, blocking shots, turning it into instant offense. And those guys are just a machine right now. The second best machine right now out there, second to Oklahoma City.
So tonight, the second game, 8:30 Central on Prime Video. It's game 2, Lakers at Thunder inside the Paycom Center. You don't see these types of numbers often in second-round playoff series, but OKC is favored by 15.5 points. Luka Doncic obviously ruled out. It's a big series in the sense that it's the reigning champs against the Lakers. It's the MVP and the king, but these aren't going to be competitive basketball games, barring a surprise, are they?
Hey, Gary, you and I are both, longtime boxing fans, man. We both were around Brian Young back in the day, man, when he brought those fights to Memphis. What this reminds me of is the Tyson and Lewis fight. Like, everybody was thinking that Tyson still had one more nice knockout punch in him, but Lennox Lewis was clearly the classier fighter who just dominated the fight, right? And I feel like that. Like, a lot of people are thinking LeBron can, have one more punch and deliver a knockout blow, potentially to extend this series. But Oklahoma City is just such a technician when it comes to how they operate and play that it's not even fair, man. You look up and you're already down 6 rounds going in around 10, right? So it's one of those things where they can put this thing away, man. And I don't even know if the Lakers can. The Lakers will go through the motions and they will look decent. LeBron will have decent numbers, but it'll be empty calories by the end of this series. And they're lucky if they get one game, and it's probably going to be another sweep.
To your point about Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson. I covered that fight. I was in the Mike Tyson camp that entire week. And one of the things I remember about that week leading up to the fight is if you asked your best friend from high school who you think's going to win the fight, they'd say Mike Tyson. If you asked a guy you bumped into at the gas station, who you think's going to win the fight? Iron Mike's going to win the fight. What are you talking about? You asked any of the boxing people, they said, oh, it's not going to be competitive at all. Like these are two people at very different places in their careers. The boxing people knew Mike Tyson had no shot, but the rest of us, we grew up playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, man. We always thought Mike Tyson had a shot. And so you're conditioned like that a little bit with LeBron. Like it's LeBron, because there was a time where LeBron did always have a shot. It didn't matter who was on his team. He had a shot. And you just don't have a shot. He's 41 years old. The team's best player's injured. And the other thing on the side is just very difficult to deal with. Before I get you out of here, you're jumping on a plane at some point over the next few days, going up to Chicago for the Combine. But before the Combine, it is the lottery. Sunday, ping pong balls will bounce around. You will be in attendance. It's not hyperbole. This is Sunday, May 10th. One of the biggest days in the history, or at least theoretically could be one of the biggest days in the history of the Grizzlies franchise.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, this is a pivotal point, 25 years into them being in Memphis. Obviously, in the midst of a roster transition, a transition with the coaching staff. Obviously, Isolo's 1 year in, and you moved on. You pivoted from that next gen group with Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. already out, and obviously we'll see what happens with Ja Morant, but it certainly looks like they're going to turn the page there as well too. And so, if you get the right ping pong balls, man, I'll be in the sequestered room again. I just got the confirmation from the NBA office last night that I'll be in there. This will be my fourth or fifth time in a sequestered room over the course of my career, man. So I'll be able to see the combinations on the wall and how they play out one by one. And it's going to be intriguing in there. And then we got to stay in there for 90 minutes until the show plays out publicly an hour and a half later before we're released. But it's going to be fun, man. It's a lot of fun talk. It's a lot of anxiety in that room. It's a lot of, GMs and presidents of basketball operations and legends, having some fun banter back and forth once they figure out where they are. And then there's some sad faces in there for guys that felt like they were positioned for a top 4 pick and then didn't see it roll out that way. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the Grizzlies are going to come away with the player. They can obviously 9% chance to get number 1, 37.2% chance to get top 4. They can fall anywhere from 1 all the way down to a minuscule chance to fall down to 10th. But anywhere between where they are right now going in at 6, they should be pretty comfortable coming away with a player that can definitely help this franchise and not alter the trajectory of delivering a superstar again.
So there's a million different mock drafts out there. A lot of them, when they get to that 6th pick where the Grizzlies are slotted right now, they write something like, the franchise seems ready to move on from Ja Morant, and they could use this pick to draft his replacement. Well, obviously, if they win the lottery and pick first, you might just pick a 6'9" forward named A.J. Debonsa and deal with your point guard situation in a different way. But for the sake of our conversation, then I'll let you go. Let's say they are picking 6th, which is where they're slotted right now. That is a range where you run into, not all of these players will be available, but some of them by definition are going to have to be. Darius Acuff Jr., Keaton Wagler, Kingston Flemings, Michael Brown Jr. Of that batch of lead guards, do you have one that you prefer over the others?
You know what? Obviously, I think for the way that I look at it, and if the Grizzlies, are in that range, it'll be tough to look past Acuff because of all the explosiveness that he provides on offense. He's probably the best shooter among that group in terms of shooting 44% from three-point range. His pick and roll game is phenomenal. He's explosive at the rim, and he's a superstar personality and charisma and all of those things. He comes in with the Allen Iverson stamp already for swagger, right? But then I also look at how compelling a guy like Wagler can be at 6'6", looking over the defense, kind of giving you that, that Jalen Johnson type potential down the line in terms of, being that size and being able to do a lot of different things. And playing in a system where he's played with European influence wings at Illinois. And Isolo is a European influence coach. So I can see a lot of those things matching up. So either way you go, Acuff or Wagler, those are two great guys. But if it has to be, Kingston Fleming, he's going to come in as a defensive ready guy. already. I think he's just scratching the surface of what he could be offensively, because it's hard to be an offensive juggernaut in Kelvin Sampson's system. So I think it's a win-win no matter who you end up with. I don't know as much about Mikael Brown. I know that he was awesome coming into the year, rated highly, had some injury issues and those kind of things. So he's a little bit more of a mystery to me, but any one of those four will be phenomenal gets if you're the Grizzlies at 6, which, by the way, last point, 6 is the one spot that they're least likely to stay in this lottery from an odd standpoint. So there's going to be some movement one way or another.
Because if anybody jumps up, even one franchise, you're no longer picking 6th. And statistically speaking, from a probabilities perspective, somebody is supposed to jump up. We hope it's the Grizzlies. We'll find out Sunday. You have a nice trip, and then we're going to start doing draft breakdown episodes next week. Yes. You and I believe, or me and Lang Whitaker. You'll be involved to whatever degree. So I will we'll wish you well. Have a safe trip, and we'll start talking draft all next week. Hopefully about the number 1 pick.
All right, brother. Absolutely, man. And save me the corner piece of the brownie, man.
You got it. Corner piece for you. I'll take the middle. That's Michael Wallace on Twitter at MyMikeCheck. You're the best. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Michael Wallace, Grind City Media on Twitter at MyMikeCheck. When we come back, interesting comments from Kentucky legend, former All-American Dan Issel. He jumped on a podcast yesterday with Michelle Beadle, Lou Williams, and Chandler Parsons, and was asked, hey, so Kentucky ain't won a national championship since 2012. Doesn't seem to be recruiting the way Kentucky once recruited. What's the issue in Lexington right now? UK legend Dan Issel, he had an answer that was, I think, honest and hilarious. We'll share it with you next.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person who will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's a person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to give you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let other fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's Orthosouth at orthosouth.org.
Kevin Garnett returned to Minnesota. How awesome was this? Look at this.
That's love right there.
When he walks in, and they brought him out of the tunnel. They're like, welcome back. They played like a tribute video.
That's the reason why guys like TA and them are here, bro.
This is the best.
You want to see the OGs back showing love.
It's the best. That is the best. Nothing has felt more wrong than Kevin Garnett not being a part of that.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, Visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and OrthoSouth will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Hilarious comments from UK legend Dan Issel. He jumped on a podcast yesterday with Chandler Parsons and Lou Williams and Michelle Beadle, and he was asked more or less like, hey, UK legend Dan Issel, you're closer to it than I am. You've been around it your whole life. Now you're 77 years old, and if you still follow Kentucky basketball, could you tell us, what's going on? Why they hadn't won a championship in a while, not recruiting the way they used to recruit? Dan Issel, what's the explanation? Listen to what Dan Issel said. I thought this was good.
I want you to put your GM hat on for a little while for me. Kentucky hasn't won a national championship since 2012. It's been a lot of turnover as far as leadership since that time. Why do you feel the biggest reason that is?
Well, a couple of reasons, Lou. I think number one, with NIL, we can't cheat like we used to. I was hoping Boogie was on the show because we need more. We need him to kick in more NIL money and help us out a little bit. But I think the landscape of college basketball with the transfer portal and with NIL has really changed, and it has brought a lot of equality to college basketball. And when you used to count on Kentucky and North Carolina and Duke and Kansas being at the very top, I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Ding, ding, ding. He's exactly right. That is what has happened. The playing field has been leveled out, and the blue bloods that used to recruit consistently at the tip top of the sport and did it however they did it, they no longer have the advantages that they once had. We don't have to name names, although Dan Issel did. He said, you're asking why is Kentucky sort of falling back a little bit? Well, we used to cheat like crazy, and now everybody has the ability to do what only us and a few others used to do. That's more or less what he said, and that is true. If you go back in a different era of the sport, there was always programs banging heads for the top players in the country, top high school prospects in the country. This is how you mostly recruited. It was through the high schools, and the same schools were recruiting the same people. And then every once in a while you would get, a wild card in there, like a Sean Miller at Arizona or a Will Wade at LSU, or just speaking plainly, a Penny Hardaway at Memphis that can get in there and mix things up however you do it. But by and large, if A.J. DeBonsa was coming out of high school in 2015 instead of 2025, he's from the Boston area. Blindly, I could tell you how his recruitment would have gone. You ready for this? You would have seen a tweet at some point. This is if this were 2015 instead of 2025. A.J. DeBonsa, the number one prospect in the class of 2015, is considering Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, and perhaps UConn because he's from the Boston area. So he might, in New England. But Duke's recruiting him, Kentucky's recruiting him, Kansas is recruiting him. And then they're all also recruiting 4 other dudes exactly like him. And so then Kansas would do whatever it's got to do to get this one done. Duke would do whatever it's got to do to get this one done. Kentucky would do whatever you got to do to get this one done. And the players just year after year, the number one recruiting class was either Duke or Kentucky, and whichever one it wasn't was number 2. My point is this. In 2015, Duke only really needed to worry about Kentucky and Kansas and North Carolina. And Kentucky really only needed to worry about Duke and Kansas and North Carolina, with few exceptions. Now, if you're Kentucky or Duke, when you're recruiting this level of player, you got to worry about BYU too, because they'll throw money around. Once upon a time, there were only a handful of schools really throwing real money around under the table, cheating, as Dan Issel put it. And so all the players went to those schools because that's where the money was. I could remember having a conversation with a coach at one of these types of schools, and they were recruiting heads up with another one of these types of schools. And the coach told me they were involved with 4 of the same players, these 2 programs, banging heads. And the coach was like, which 2 do you think they're going to get? Because if he'll just take those 2 now, I'll just take the other 2 and we could be done with this. I don't care. He could pick which 2 he wants. Just let me have the other 2. It was these 4 players, they're all either going here or there. we're banging heads and fighting over them. Just take 2, and I'll take the other 2, and let's be done with this. You didn't have to worry about BYU coming in.
Right.
Or, all of these schools. Now everybody is paying money. When everybody is throwing around money, you no longer have the advantage that you had. This is not me talking. It's Dan Issel. That's somebody who's been around Kentucky basketball his whole life. Why are you not getting the same caliber of player you used to get? Because we used to be one of the few schools that was really throwing around money. Now everybody's throwing around money. And so we don't have the advantages that we used to have. You've seen Kansas's recruiting fall off a little bit. North Carolina, the roster, not what it was in the heyday under Roy Williams. At Kentucky, they're about to riot in Lexington because they can't get players. They brought in Kentucky 14 of the top 20 players in the country and got commitments from none of them. That's impossible 10 years ago.
Well, it's still just insane to me, because the proof is we've seen it over the past couple seasons. It is still just so wild to me, and I guess credit to them how the Big Ten just for years was just we do college sports the right way. And as soon as you were able to play the players, Big Ten is in the championship and everything.
Dusty May was asked about this at the Final Four. Do you know what he said?
Yeah.
Dusty May, the Michigan coach, he said, Dusty, for a while, the Big Ten, it had been known, hadn't won championships in this, hadn't won championships in that. Right now, you've won, as a league, the past 2 football championships, and you're the favorite to win the basketball championship. Do you have an explanation for why things have changed? You know what he said?
NIL.
No, he just said, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
he said, yes, I have an explanation. Then he smiled and said, catch me off the record.
Yeah, it can't be a coincidence.
No, here's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Here's what, if you catch Dusty May off the record, here's what he'll tell you. GP, I used to work in Florida. I worked in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest difference? Because I'm not saying nobody in the Big Ten used to cheat. I'm just saying everybody in the SEC did.
Mm-hmm.
And we might have had a football program or 2 or a basketball program or 2, but by and large, we were not in this league rocking and rolling the way they were rocking and rolling in the SEC. And now we are, because it's allowed. So now a Big Ten school sits down at the table with a 5-star prospect. That Big Ten school is coming with the same amount of cash, if not more, than the SEC school. And that just wasn't the case 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because the SEC schools got real comfortable not caring about the rules. And in the Big Ten, they seem to collectively hold themselves to a little bit of a higher standard. I ain't trying to call anybody an angel, but
it's just so glaringly.
It's so glaring.
Obviously. Yes, the NIL happens and the Big Ten is awesome in football and basketball.
I can tell you this.
Yeah.
This is another true thing. I can tell you in a different era of the sport, I've had coaches tell me they were offered 2 different jobs. Let's just call them middle of the pack jobs. Just total middle of the pack in a power conference job. And I had a coach tell me he could have taken this middle of the pack Big Ten job, middle of the pack SEC job. You know what he said? I'm taking the Big Ten job. Because at least there, I know that I can, if I believe in myself and I do my job well, I'll have a chance. I have no chance in the SEC unless I'm willing to cheat. I can't win in that league at a middle of the pack school unless I'm willing to cheat. I know that. In the Big Ten, I might have a chance. And so I know a coach who took a Big Ten job over an SEC job because they knew if they went to the Big Ten and played by the rules, they'd at least have a chance. Cannot go to the SEC and play by the rules. That was the sentiment. And that's all changed. Now the rules are the same for everybody. They basically don't exist. If you can fundraise the money, you can throw it wherever you want to throw it. And the Big Ten has more wealthy alums than the SEC, bigger alumni bases than the SEC, and broadly speaking, more money than the SEC. And it's making things harder for these SEC schools, specifically at the University of Kentucky, where they are still struggling to put together a roster in advance of next season that would qualify as a top 25 basketball team.
Number 2.
Speaking of Dusty May, his name's back in the headlines. Mark Stein, longtime NBA insider, is reporting that multiple franchises are interested in Michigan's coach, including the Orlando Magic and perhaps the Golden State Warriors. Dusty May?
It just makes a lot of sense. Like, you've seen it now with these guys that have, and I'm not saying he's like a super young guy, but I guess he's
young. He's my age.
Yeah, and in respect to the sport.
Yes.
And it just seems like this is kind of where it's trended. Like a guy that has so much success at this young of an age, like this is the next step, dude. But
it's also his temperament.
Yeah.
His composure, the way he carries himself. Like Dusty May is a normal person who happens to be a brilliant basketball coach. Like if you knew him, that's what you would know about him. He's a normal person who happens to be a brilliant basketball coach. Some of these dudes, there ain't nothing normal about them. But Dusty May is like, if he were your neighbor, you would enjoy him regardless of what his profession is. He's just a solid dude. If you watch this Made for March documentary that Paramount Plus did, where they followed Michigan all the way through the NCAA tournament, you can sort of pick up on some of these things. Just the way he coaches, the way he handles himself, the way he talks to his players. There's an interesting interview I saw with him just the other day because, he was a manager at Indiana when Bob Knight was the coach.
Yep.
So that's what he knows. The yelling and the screaming and the belittling and the demeaning and the run you into the ground, tear you down to build you, whatever. And he said, early in my career, I used to coach like that because I felt like that's how Coach Knight coached, and he's the best, and that's the way I should coach. And he said, I just realized at some point, first off, it's just not me. It's not who I am. And secondly, I don't think it's productive. I don't think yelling at my players nonstop gets the best out of them. Everybody can do it a million different ways, and it obviously worked for Coach Knight in that time. But Dusty said, me personally, I have just found if anytime I'm yelling at my players, they are distracted from the thing I want them to be focused on. They're now dealing with me in a way that I don't want them to deal with me. I want them to be focused on what they need to do. Dan Hurley has touched on this as well. Dan has said, I feel like in practice, that's where I really get on. I mean, I teach and I coach and I'm hard. He said, I have found in the games, that's not a place for me to teach you anything. That's a place for me to give you confidence, to build you up, to make sure you know I believe in you. In the practices, I am trying to really rip you apart to make you better. But in the games, I want us to be on the same side. I need you believing in yourself, and I need to help you do that. So all of this stuff is just interesting. But Dusty really, really seems like he has the mindset. Obviously, the basketball stuff, just in terms of how he sees the game, that's all there. How he teaches the game seems to be there. But just the way he conducts himself. You kind of need to have that kind of demeanor to work in the NBA. And I can 100% see why NBA franchises would be interested in him. It's not unlike the Brad Stevens thing. You see what he did at FAU, and then you start paying attention. And when you look closer, because he did something at FAU you're never supposed to do, just like Brad did something at Butler you're never supposed to do, then Brad did it again, go to back-to-back championship games. Then you take a closer look and you're like, all right, I don't know if I'd have guessed this, but like, is the best basketball coach in the world coaching at Butler? And should we hire him to coach the Boston Celtics? Like, that's how that happens. You just go, okay, I looked at this thing after the accomplishments started getting out of whack with any sort of normal historical standard. And now I'm wondering, is this the best basketball coach in the world? Like, you don't think that way about Dusty May when he's just at FAU, but then he goes to a Final Four at FAU. Then he goes to another NCAA tournament at FAU. Then he gets the Michigan job, and in year 2 wins the national championship by roster building in a way that looks brilliant. And you start to go, all right, clearly knows what he's doing and seems to have the right demeanor to work in our league. He'll have offers. If he's coaching at Michigan next year, it will only be because he turned down NBA jobs. I think that's true, but I do believe he will turn down NBA jobs. I don't think I'm comfortable saying he'll never coach in the NBA, but I don't think he's the type of guy who would leave immediately after winning a national championship, particularly when he has a preseason top 5 team already recruited, bought, and paid for. I think he's going to try to run it back to back, but that won't stop NBA franchises from calling. It sounds like some of them already are.
Number 3.
The Players Era Festival this morning has announced its 2026 version. You might remember this is a big event that happens in Vegas now annually, and the twist on it is that these schools get paid to go there. This is a real game changer. And when the Maui Invitational no longer exists or no longer exists with quality basketball teams, it will be the Players Era Festival that has its blood on its hands. Because as any coach will tell you that's been invited to it, whether you think you want to go to Las Vegas for Thanksgiving, whether you think this is the best event for you, if presented with the opportunity to go, you have to go because they pay you to go. Every school, and there's 24 schools in this event, 2 different events. One of them is 16 teams. One of them is 8 teams. Everything will be played out in Las Vegas, and every team in it is getting at least $1 million. Some are getting more than others. Kansas is getting the most, but every school is getting at least $1 million. And you can look at those logos and tell me the thing that you notice right from the jump.
All power schools.
It is just about all power conference schools, with the exceptions being
Creighton and Gonzaga.
Well, Creighton is power conference because in basketball we call the Big East.
Yep.
So what you see there is UNLV. That's a local option. So you don't have to pay for them to travel. You could probably offer, if you got to pay Kansas $1.4 million, you could probably give UNLV $400,000 and say, hey guys, you just got to drive to the game. Whatever.
I know what you're going to say.
Okay. Gonzaga.
And San Diego State.
So it's the big brand Gonzaga, because that's just, Gonzaga is a thing unlike anything else in the country in terms of men's basketball. It doesn't matter what league it's in, Gonzaga's Gonzaga. San Diego State's just been to a Final Four and is in the new Pac-12 and is in San Diego, California, close to Vegas. Outside of that, it is nothing but Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12. So we just got through talking about how things have been balanced out. But where they've been balanced out is at the power conference level. Where the gap widens is between the Power Fours plus the Big East and everybody else. Because think about this. You're a school like Memphis, Wichita State. You have real basketball aspirations. You used to do real stuff. And you already don't get the media rights deal that Ole Miss gets, that Tennessee gets. So you're already not getting the money from the conference that these schools all around you are getting. And you're basically just begging FedEx to. And then here's another little thing that's just invented where it's throwing more millions at the schools that already have the millions.
Yeah, and listen, I know that these two brands are different than the league that they're in, but this new Pac-12 thing, my antennas are all the way up, dude. It just is. I know Gonzaga and San Diego State, those are big college basketball brands regardless, but that's still 2 new Pac-12 teams in that field with a bunch of big brands. I'm just saying.
You will look up next season as a Memphis fan, and you will have a FOMO moment where
I already have that.
Where it's number 6 Gonzaga. You're going to be hosting UT San Antonio in FedEx Forum in front of 2,000 people. And you're going to go, we could have been hosting Gonzaga tonight if we'd have just jumped at the new Pac-12. I want to be clear because I'm not interested in relitigating that.
I know.
They were, in that moment where they had to make a decision, they were rallying millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising and other things to try to attach to a push to get into the Big 12. They thought they were going to do it. They were wrong, clearly. It was a miscalculation, clearly. But that's why that's at least among the reasons. And if you talk to Dr. Scott, which I understand his perspective.
I do too. I would rather be in the Big 12.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. I respect going for it.
This is what he would tell you. This is what he has told me. I don't want to go. Think of it as houses. Think of you live in a starter home now, and there's the mansion out there, and you can move from the starter home to the mid-size home or whatever. But what Dr. Scott would tell you is, I want the mansion. I don't want to move to this other one and then have to move out again to get in the mansion. I just want to go straight to the mansion. So that's what they thought they were doing. It didn't work. So now we're back into a place where you're hoping the ACC breaks up. That's as a Memphis fan, that is what you're reduced to now, I think. Waiting for the ACC to break up in some form and hoping you can latch on with what's left there. That's the hope. But that's not going to stop next season when you're playing in the 10th or 11th best league in the country in an empty building against a bad team, and you're like, we could have been playing Gonzaga and San Diego State.
I just think time is so against you right now. Like this league is never getting better. It's only going to go down.
It's only going to get worse.
It cannot go up.
I don't want to say it can't go up because, like, if Wichita State just got better, then
okay.
If Wichita State were a top 25 program and Memphis were a top 25 program, by definition, it's better. So it can get better.
That's right.
But it will never be good. It'll never be good. It'll never be what you need. And every day that you spend in it is a day where you're losing something. That's a real thing. But back to this players era thing.
Yeah.
It's just tough. Like, you're Ed Scott, you're Penny Hardaway, and you're over there fighting for every penny just to try to beat UAB for a junior college product. And meanwhile, like, there's an event that's just giving Bill Self an extra $1 million a year. It's tough.
Yeah.
The divide is you're down here, and so you don't have anywhere close to the money the schools up here have. And because you're down here, then here's a whole nother just, hey, fly out to Vegas in November. We'll give you $1 million to play 3 basketball games.
Yeah.
Memphis in other years has gone to Maui, has gone to Battle for Atlantis. I hope people understand the difference here. You go to the Battle for Atlantis, you might spend $500,000 taking your team down there.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the Players Era, you might make $1 million taking your team there. That's why every coach who gets invited says, yes, we'll go. So the Players Era can kind of have their pick of whatever they want.
Right.
And they don't want schools from outside of the traditional power structure right now, outside of Gonzaga or other schools that make geographic sense so that you maybe don't have to pay them as much because they can bus it over as opposed to private playing it. It's a real problem.
Yeah.
For Memphis and any school outside of the power structure wanting to be good at men's basketball, you already are up against it because of a lack of media rights money. And now you're up against it even more because there are events out there that are actually making the wealthy even wealthier at the expense of you.
Number 4.
Golden Tempo, your Kentucky Derby winner, has been scratched from the Preakness. This is the second straight year that the Derby winner will not run the second leg of the Triple Crown. They're saying it's a problem.
We're never going to see a Triple Crown winner again.
Well, you know what this reminds me of? If you don't do something about the calendar, you know what it's exactly like? What do we do every NBA season? We sit around and we bemoan the lack of availability of so many of the greatest players. We go, God, it's just everybody's always hurt. Nobody ever plays. Everybody's always hurt. And it's like, okay, we've been saying that now for a while. And it's pretty clear at this point, the pace at which these games are played and the regular and how regularly they are played. Professional athletes' bodies, too many of them are going to break down. So if you're tired of spending every single season talking about the best players are always hurt all the time, you need to address the calendar. Because just saying, well, maybe next year will be different, doesn't seem like it's working. Same thing here.
Yeah.
You can spend every year going, man, I think it sucks that the Derby winner's not running the Preakness. Or you can move the calendar to where you're more likely to get the Derby winner to run in the Preakness.
I mean, so the Kentucky Derby was when is the Preakness? It's soon, right?
Yes, it's just like the trainers.
So within a couple weeks of the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
the Triple Crown. Yeah.
What horse trainers have decided is more or less the same thing NBA medical staffs have decided. You can schedule these things however you want to schedule them.
Next Saturday.
But we no longer think it's in our best interest to perform on this calendar that you have set. NBA medical staffs have decided in some cases the NBA can schedule these games whenever they want them. But we have decided it is in our best interest to play in this one and not play in this one. And if you want us to play in both of them, you need to space them out. Because we're telling you right now, we have data that tells us it's not in our best interest for our player to play in this game and that game. If you want us to put him in both games, you need to space these things out because we're telling you from the jump we ain't going to do it. That is what horse trainers are telling us right now. If you want us to run in the Derby and the Preakness, you better space it out because we have decided maybe they didn't care in the year 2006 or 1986, but in the year 2026, we are not going to run this weekend and then run 2 weekends later.
So I may be a little naive about horse racing, although I did win first place in the media class for the Germantown Charity Horse Show one year.
Never forget.
Never forget. But like Fernando Mendoza, like he plays a game on a Saturday, you know, in October.
Sure.
And then he plays another game the very next Saturday.
That's right.
In October.
He's not a horse. You realize that, right?
I realize that. Okay. But I mean, and I know these horses are running super hard out there, but like, how long does it take for those knees to heal, man?
Okay. Here's my point. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes knees to heal. I don't know anything about horse racing. I don't need to know anything about horse racing to know this. The people who know everything about horse racing 2 years in a row have decided it is not in our best interest to put this horse on that track so soon after the Kentucky Derby. You are asking us to do it. But this horse is now worth millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And this horse is a thing that we have invested in that is worth a lot of money. Just like you ready for this? Just like a Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
And we have decided it is not in our best interest for this horse to compete so soon after the Kentucky Derby. So here's
I have your answer.
So here's the truth. I don't need to know the answer. The people in charge of the horses have decided it's not in their best interest to run the race. And once they decide that, you've got a calendar problem in horse racing. Just like when NBA franchises decide, my star player coming off of ACL surgery will never play back-to-backs the following year. You've got a calendar problem because they're telling us, you can put these games wherever you want to put them, but we will not even try to play in all of them. We're telling you that up front. Do something about it. Or this is what you get. Here we are with horse racing.
So Google says that the optimal wait time between races is 3 to 5 weeks. So that automatically eliminates the Preakness. Aggressive return is 2 to 3 weeks, and tight return is 7 to 14 days. So yeah, why are we doing these so close together? It's also summer. Like what's the difference of postponing the Preakness a few weeks?
I'm sure there's television networks involved and there's like a whole bunch. It's more complicated than you think.
Yeah, I got it.
But like it's all beside the point. Like you can have the only thing in horse racing that matters is the Triple Crown. And we are now at a point where people have decided it's not in their best.
That one that we saw.
It's not in their best interest to run the Triple Crown. And so now you've just ripped away the thing that makes horse racing special or generates the most headlines, the possibility of a Triple Crown winner, because of the calendar and the way horse trainers are now addressing it. We're just robbed of Triple Crown even opportunities. We will not get to turn on the Preakness and wonder if the Derby winner can win again and then set itself up for a possibility of a Triple Crown. The days of that could be gone until we change the calendar. What are you looking up over there? What are you so interested in?
We've had 12 Triple Crown winners ever. Yeah, the last one was 2018, Justified. Before that, it was 2015, the one I remembered, American Pharaoh. Everybody remembers American Pharaoh.
Everybody remembers American
Before
Pharaoh.
That, it was 1978. So, yeah, we had a large gap. And then we were on a nice little run. Now it's been a minute.
This is my point. I do not understand every year watching the NBA and being frustrated by players being hurt without doing something to try to alleviate that problem. And now here we are with horse racing. The people in charge of the horses are telling us, as long as you're going to put that race there, we ain't going to run this one and then run that one. They've told us that 2 years in a row. You have to do something about it. You got to do something about it.
I think so. I think you do too. I don't want to go the rest of my life without seeing another Triple Crown winner.
Hey, nor do I.
It's life worth living if I can't, you know?
I understand.
Yeah, thanks.
Number 5.
All right, I swear to God, I was not bringing this up today. You sent this to me.
Well, dude, I mean, I wanted it to go away too, but like, what do you want me to do? TMZ puts out a report that Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini are on a boat together when she's 7 months pregnant. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? It has to go on the show.
I understand. I just want the record to reflect
that this was my 5 more things story.
Yes.
And not yours.
Yes, because I have reached a point where this story it's now gotten too weird. It's too weird.
This is the weirdest.
It's too weird.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really care that much when you were just two 40-year-olds banging. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't none of my business. But this has gotten weird.
Yes.
For people who didn't see the update, it's June 2021. And Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Yes.
At the time, Titans coach, now Patriots coach. At the time, longtime NFL insider.
Yeah.
They rented a boat, just the two of them. There's even pictures. Apparently, it's one of those things where, you see, this is you're in the Nashville area, you see the Titans coach. Can I get a picture? The reporting is that Diana would not get in any pictures for obvious reasons. And Vrabel actually said, I'll take a picture with you, but I would rather just don't post it on social media because probably didn't want anybody to know he was at,
Yeah.
The best way to not have to answer, why were you on a boat, is if nobody knows you were on a boat, right? So they were on a boat, and the TMZ's got like the
log.
Yeah, I mean, it's got their, like the waiver you have to sign.
Yeah.
Like, here's a piece of paper that says you'll return this boat on time, and you if there's any damages, you're responsible. Sign it right here, please. And it's like Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini. All right. Again, her baby was born later that summer. She was very pregnant. You tell me. In what scenario are you on a boat with a woman you're clearly having an affair with, and she's 7 months pregnant? In what scenario is that happening? Where it's not your child.
Oh my God. Jeez.
That's the next place we're headed with this. Is Diana Rossini's first child Mike Vrabel's child?
I don't even want to begin to go there.
I mean, we're already there.
I don't even want to begin to go there.
Am I out of line here?
I don't know. I mean, dude, obviously, bro, at best, this was like they were really in it. Like that.
It seemed like they really like each other.
For sure. Like this was like there is no arguing now that this was like a full-on like affair. Like they were into each other.
They seem to like each other. Like there's a part of me that just thinks they should maybe just be together. You seem to really enjoy each other.
Well, but and the thing is, man, is like you said this. The last one that came up is when because at first it was deny, then all the stuff starts coming out, and then he just falls on the sword. Right. And that's when I was like, oh man, there has to be like just more stuff, because you probably could still even fall on, you probably could still just, even though it's obvious, like you could still just, I'm not talking about it, deny, but he's like, no, I made some mistakes and I need to go be with my family and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh wow, yeah, this was obviously a pretty intense affair.
If you were having an affair, and the person you were having the affair with, you're married, the other person's married. That's the way affairs go sometimes, I guess. And your mistress, for lack of a better term, is 7 months pregnant. Like, at what point I just don't understand. I think at some point
I'm getting a little confused.
I think at some point I think at some point it would get too weird.
Yeah.
Even for me.
Yeah.
Unless we were operating under the idea that this is my child. Don't forget, the kid's name is Michael.
Every time you say that, I get scared.
The kid's name is Michael.
Mm-hmm.
She named, at the very least, you know that she was on a boat with Mike Vrabel, 7 months pregnant, 2 months later, had her first child, named that baby Michael. That's just all fact stuff.
It's just all facts. I don't know if I want to take it any further. Look, man, it was either this story or a potential new global pandemic. So like whichever one, like I figured we're too early for that. I figured that's something I just didn't even want to touch.
I think I've just decided I'm going to ignore the pandemic this time, like everybody did last time.
I think that's what I want to do.
I'm just going to ignore it this time.
It worked out for them.
Yeah.
Or did it? I don't know.
I mean, not the fat and old ones. The fat old ones died. All right, the fatties that were old, they died. The fat. If you were friends with a fat old person on Facebook and they were like, "You're not taking my freedoms," they're probably dead.
They're dead?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're probably dead. But like the rest of
I
them,
just wasn't ready to approach that.
the rest of them probably survived.
Yeah.
And so, to your point, it worked out for most of them.
Yeah.
Not all. Not the fatties and not the old fatties.
Yeah.
They died. They they were like, I ain't getting no shot.
Yeah.
And then they were like, I still ain't getting no shot. And then they were on a ventilator, and then they were dead.
God.
That's the way that worked. I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I saw a woman who was a school teacher. Her posts were, I guess not hilarious is not the right word, but her posts went like this. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I got to get a shot. I ain't getting no shot. And then a week later, she was like, there's no way in the world I'll lose my job before I get a shot. It's like, okay. She's standing on business. And then it was like, all right, so I tested positive, but you know what? I'll be fine. And then it was like, I am going to the hospital. And then the next thing you see, it was like, service for Margaret.
Jesus.
Service for Margaret is Wednesday afternoon at Brantley Funeral Home or something like that.
What a time. I'd like to not do it again.
Okay.
That's why I didn't put it in 5 more things, because I'm choosing to ignore it for now.
Okay, but here's the thing. So I'm 49 years old, not as young as I used to be, but not too old. And I don't know if you've noticed, I got a little weight off.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I have noticed.
You're
looking slim.
I'm a little better to deal with this pandemic than the next one.
Good.
I mean, the last pandemic I was, if we're being honest, I was a little heavier.
I think
I could have ended up on one of them ventilators too. All right. But I got some pounds off. I'm still not too old. I think I'm just going to ignore the next pandemic and just see if I can survive it.
I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn. It sounds like, the World Health Organization spoke today, and they said that nothing to be alarmed about right now.
Yeah, I think I heard that before.
Okay.
Tell that to Margaret. Tell that to Margaret. Tell that to Margaret. Send your flowers to Brantley Funeral Home. Tell it to Margaret.
See, this is why I did the Vrabel Rossini story, because I didn't even want to. I didn't even.
I've just decided I'm just not even going to worry about it.
I can't get involved right now.
I got too much stuff to worry about. I cannot worry about another pandemic right now.
Yeah, I can't get involved right now.
I just can't get involved right now.
Holler at me in a week. I'll be monitoring the situation.
Yeah, I'm still focused on the Strait of Hormuz.
That thing is getting wild.
Bro.
That Strait of Hormuz thing is getting wild. That's the craziest strait I've ever heard of in my life.
Craziest strait.
Yeah. The things that are happening there, wild.
I love the Strait of Hormuz.
I know.
I can't be worried about the Strait of Hormuz and a pandemic all at the same time.
No.
That's too much to ask of me. I'm
really
just
is.
one person. So I've chosen to I'm just going to ignore the pandemic. I'm going to be exactly like everybody else in my neighborhood. I'm going to completely ignore the pandemic. I'm just going to pretend it doesn't happen. I feel like I'm young enough and I've gotten enough weight off where I'm going to survive it.
Good.
I ain't Margaret. I ain't going out like Margaret.
Good.
I ain't going out like Margaret.
Me either, damn it.
Anyway, Rossini and Vrabel, back to them.
Yes.
I just think at some point you would go, this is getting too weird. This is getting too weird.
We got to chill.
You have you're 7 months pregnant. This is getting too weird.
What are we doing here?
And either way, if you're the husband now, don't you have just too many crazy thoughts in your head?
Yeah. I mean, I would be going through
Hasn't the husband at least wondered, is this my kid? Hadn't the husband at least wondered that?
Man. I mean, you can't begin to know people. I mean, some people have open relationships.
There you go. I'm glad you brought that up because that could be another thing in here.
Yeah.
Maybe
he didn't care. Right.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know. But
we don't know. Hey, we don't know.
We don't know. But man, yeah, I saw that today and I was just like, golly, this story is just not going away. It just keeps getting weirder.
I was ready for it to go away.
Yeah.
I did read one report. Who knows if it's true or not? That Diana Rossini, was at least in conversations with different sit-down interview type things where she might really just sit down and, what's the best path forward?
Well, once he, goes his direction and is trying to save his career and he says his marriage and all that stuff, it's like, well, okay, what?
I usually have good advice for people.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at following good advice, but I'm pretty good at giving it. And I don't know, man. I don't have a great solution for this issue that she has now found herself in. I don't know that there's a great way out of this one. This just might be one you got sometimes you do make mistakes. Like, people always like to tell you, you can make mistakes and you can overcome your mistakes. And sometimes there are mistakes that you just cannot overcome. And this might be professionally for her and personally for her, but certainly professionally for her, it looks like it might be. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that's the end of it.
I do too.
I hope we never hear another thing about these two people, but I'm not sure. Yeah. All right. Be back with Carryout.
AZ's making money thanks to the new CBA.
Incredible stuff.
Good
stuff.
Rookie contract. She is projected to make $500,000 this year, and just in comparison, Paige made $78,000 last year, and Caitlin Clark made $76,000.
Anytime we get workers getting paid what they're worth, I'm all for it.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Get ready, Grizzlies fans. It is time for the Surfside Can Shuffle. Can you keep up with the cans and find Mac the Crab?
Grizzlies, take your fandom to the next level by becoming an MVP.
How long have you been an MVP? Since day one.
Enjoy the great benefits of being a season ticket member. Pre-game MVP moments, including Autograph Alley, exclusive Grizz Gear deals, access to member or MVP-only player events, and much more.
He's been an MVP for 22 years!
Become a Grizzlies MVP today.
The Grizzlies are proud to team up with Prime Global Group, a company on a mission to redefine real estate investment. By leveraging deep experience, strategic insight, and robust resources, Prime Global Group is shaping a smarter, socially responsible future. Whether you're an investor or simply curious, now's the time to explore innovative strategies that align with your values. Join the movement and discover how you can be a part of this exciting evolution. Visit primeglobalgroup.net to learn more and connect with the team today. That's primeglobalgroup.net.
The Grizzlies are proud to partner with Prime Global Group, a leader in innovative, socially responsible real estate investment. Discover smart strategies that align with your values at primeglobalgroup.net. That's primeglobalgroup.net. Let's do carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Headline over at ESPN.com. Sources are telling the worldwide leader that Aaron Rodgers is going to visit the Steelers and will likely play for the team in 2026. This comes after I saw online an Arizona Cardinal was publicly recruiting Aaron Rodgers. He said, come on down to Phoenix and let's see if we can do something down here in the absence of a Kyler Murray. But the report from ESPN this morning, Aaron Rodgers set to play for the Steelers more than likely this upcoming season. That's according to Ian Rappaport. Make sense to you?
Yeah, because, I mean, what else are you going to do?
What else are you going to
do? Like, you're kind of in this spot right now if you're the Steelers. I think you just have to you see how the year goes. Can we make the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers? And we'll see what happens once we get there.
Well, I sure do wish him luck.
Yeah.
I sure do wish him luck. I hope it goes well.
I hope so, too.
All right.
What's today's biggest game?
Going back to the NBA. Cavs Pistons, game 2 tonight, Little Caesars Arena, downtown Detroit. Pistons are listed as 3.5-point favorites. They won game 1. Totals 215.5. How you going to act?
I'm going to go What am I going to do here? I'm going to go Cavs. And I don't want to. I don't like it.
We just need these series to be interesting. Lakers, Oklahoma City doesn't look like it's going to be interesting. Knicks, Sixers no longer looks like it's going to be interesting. We need some of this stuff to get interesting.
Yeah, I'll go Cavs. Maybe Detroit wins it on the final possession, and so that half point's there. I'll go Cavs. Yeah.
All right. Bennett says take the Cavs plus the 3.5. Tonight, game 2, tip 6 o'clock. You can watch it on Prime Video.
What are we watching on TV?
So I watched it, Bennett. Should I Marry a Murderer?
Oh, okay.
The 3-part documentary on Netflix. You remember we talked about it last week?
Yeah, this is the bike. No.
Yeah.
This is the bike lady.
It's not a bike lady, it's a bike man.
Yes.
It has remained in the top 5 of TV shows at Netflix like all week long. And I finally yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. It's good.
It is good.
It's good in the sense that you will not get bored.
I love a murder doc.
I love a murder doc.
I don't know what it says about me and society. We love murder docs.
I love a good murder doc.
Yeah.
So it is, I don't think I'm spoiling anything because
we've talked about this story 500 times on this show.
We talked about it that one time.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know exactly what it's about, but I think this is kind of what it's about. But now I know exactly what it's about. So this is the issue. This woman, she meets a man on a dating app. And they connect, and it's like they love each other. I mean, it's great. It's like a Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini story.
Yeah.
I mean, they could not. I wouldn't be surprised if they also rented a boat sometime.
Yeah.
And they love each other so much, and they are engaged to get married. And at some point, she says, "Hey, listen, like, you know, there's got to be a certain level of trust between us, and you know, if there's." She said, we actually had a conversation where I said, tell me the things about yourself that you're proud of. Now tell me the things about yourself that you're not proud of. Tell me what you're ashamed of. Tell me your worst. I need to know everything. And so he just sort of in that moment breaks down. And he's like, me and my brother killed somebody.
Oh, I'm thinking of a completely different story. I was thinking of my remember the affair and the lady that murdered was on the run.
That's the it happened in Austin, Texas.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, no, this is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
This is the new documentary on Netflix. And so I'm not, because like the title is Should I Marry a Murderer? So you know where we're headed. I'm not spoiling anything. And he says, me and my brother, we were out drinking. It's his twin brother. We were out drinking, had some beers. And, we were driving, night, high speed, and they hit a cyclist. And he said, he died. And you can go find the news reports. Like, they've been looking for this guy for 3 years. And I'll just leave it there. But then she is, and so he dumps this on her. And so she's sort of what do you do? Was this an accident that is in no way a reflection on who you are as a person? Or are you a murderer capable of these terrible things? That's the struggle. What do you do? When she makes the decision, she more or less, to do whatever she's going to do, she is faced with, my fiance just told me that he's responsible for the death of a person that remains unsolved. What do you do? And then it gets wilder from there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to dive in.
It gets wilder from there.
Okay.
But it's worth it. It's worth your time. 3 episodes. They're all about 50 minutes each, somewhere in that range. So you can knock it out in one day. I knocked it out in one day.
Okay.
Should I Marry a Murderer? Good murder doc on Netflix right now.
What's the best thing we've read?
Over at CBSSports.com, Cameron Salerno has a piece up on the homepage right now. NBA Draft Lottery 2026, which teams most deserve to land the number 1 pick? Emphasis on the word deserve. I saw Nick Wright make the point with Bill Simmons.
Shout out Nick Wright.
That he thinks the Grizzlies, your Memphis Grizzlies, deserve to move up in this draft, given all the things that we've gone through. Cameron Salerno, he says the franchise that actually deserves it most would be the Sacramento Kings.
I see, the reason I disagree with that is because they obviously have like an amazing fan base, and so yes, for their fans. But man, they've run that thing so wrong over the years. Like it's just I don't know.
Well, the point Nick Wright said is that you shouldn't reward incompetence. Like the Kings are the Kings because they're the Kings.
Yes.
His point is the Grizzlies are in this situation not because they've drafted poorly or Nick Wright's words, not mine.
I heard him.
He said the Grizzlies are in this situation because John Morant screwed it all up. The whole franchise is messed up because of one person. And to be fair, I actually don't think that's completely true.
I don't think that's completely true either. That was the one part in everything that he said that I was like, I disagree with that. But everything else, point taken.
There's more ingredients in this dish. If the dish is how the Grizzlies ended up here, there's more ingredients than just the John Morant screwed it all up ingredient. But that is the main ingredient. That's the main ingredient, whether you agree or not. That's what I believe.
I got you. Yeah.
That's what I believe is the main ingredient. And so Nick Wright's point is, yes, the Grizzlies deserve a quick rebuild and a new star to rally around because his words, not mine. Those fans and that franchise did everything they could. And then there's one guy that just couldn't hold up his end of the deal. So now here they are. Give him the number 1 pick. I like Nick Wright saying that.
I do too. Yeah, he said he was like saying how he knows because he was front row at a Grizzlies game this year, and I was like, "What's he doing?" Like, I guess he's got family here. Like, I think he said his sister-in-law lives here or something. Yeah. So he like he's got a pretty good understanding of the situation, I would say.
I can remember when Nick used to do radio in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I would before my TV career.
That's why he's a big Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was before TV, I would just go to games all the time. I'd just go to college campus all the time, and I'd go to Kansas for games. And I would fly into Kansas City, and anytime he'd be like, all right, you know what it was? I'd have to do the 92.9 show from the Kansas City. Yeah. I'd have to use their studios. And then he would be like, hey, while you're here, why don't you pop in with me? Yeah. So I'd do Kansas City radio with him all the time. And oh, buddy, has he gone on to bigger and better things.
Man, no kidding.
He's actually great. I think he's great.
Agree.
No hater. If I had a television show and needed people to talk about sports on it, he is one of the people I would try to hire first.
Yep.
I think he's great. So he said the Grizzlies deserve the number 1 pick. I agree. Cameron Salerno says the Kings. In order, he wrote Kings, then the Nets, then the Bulls, then the Jazz, then the Wizards. He's got the Grizzlies all the way down at number 6. I don't like it.
I told you, if you give me 6 or the field, I'm taking 6.
Here's what he wrote. A divorce between John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies feels inevitable this offseason. After trading Desmond Bane last offseason and Jaren Jackson Jr. at the deadline, the Grizzlies appear to be heading toward a full-on reset. Trading Morant and moving off him for whatever Memphis can get is the logical next step. Winning the lottery would help the Grizzlies feel better about moving off Morant. Memphis has been incredible at player development. Cedric Coward was a stud during his rookie season. Jalen Wells, Gigi Jackson, and Zach Edey have all shown promise as building blocks for whatever the Grizzlies' next steps are. DeBonsa would be the pick here if Memphis lands at number 1. I think that's right.
I'd be so fired up.
Bring me an AJ DeBonsa.
Brother, I need the jersey immediately. It would be so awesome.
Me and AJ DeBonsa.
Let's just make this easy.
We'll figure out that point guard situation at another time.
It's like it'd be so easy to just get number 1, know who you're taking, and just feel like, because the other thing too that and we'll do this for weeks. Once we figure it out on Sunday, there's going to be a lot of debate about this. Wherever they're picking, I think if it's number 1, I would assume most people universally would want AJ DeBonsa. But
I can tell you in the betting markets, it has now. People will still, when you listen to folks talk, they'll still say things like, "And the number 1 pick's wide open," and it might be, but the betting markets do not suggest that at all. AJ DeBonsa is a heavy favorite to be the number 1 pick.
I would just love this to be easy, man. We've never had the number 1 pick. It's time. We are due. Let's get it. Make it easy. Everybody's on the same page. That would be so perfect.
Only franchise in the NBA to have never made the NBA Finals and also never picked number 1 in the draft.
It's time.
We can't fix both of those things on Sunday, but we can fix one of those things on Sunday.
Yeah.
I say we fix it. You can read Cameron Salerno. CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Friday. I thought I wasn't going to be here. Turns out I don't know how to read a calendar.
Dude, when you told me, because I'm not speaking out, it's for graduation, right? Yeah, which are important to attend.
Of course.
But I was like, why is his kid graduating so early?
I just been like, and finally last night I was like, Kelly, what time is this is a real conversation we had. I said, Kelly, what time is graduation? And she said, I think it's 8:45. I said, we got to get off this. I think it's I need to know like what time is the actual and she was like, I don't know. It's next week. I'll look it up. And I was like, what do you mean it's next week? She's like, yes, it's the 15th. I was like, oh,
that makes more sense.
I was like, okay, I need to text Bennett.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense.
Because I think I had you and Rosa in here on Friday, but I'll be here now.
Good.
I'm gonna be here tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Next Friday though,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out.
We'll be good.
I'm gonna be here tomorrow. We'll get you ready for the lottery. You know what? We'll play a little simulator. We'll hit the little Tankathon simulator.
Should
we'll just come in here and we'll practice.
Yeah, should I bring like some sage in here, like some
good luck charms? Frog's leg.
I'll bring in some good luck charms.
Oh, is a frog's leg a good luck charm?
I think I got some good luck charms.
Is a frog leg? What is that? What am I thinking of? That's a good luck charm.
No. You're thinking of when you snap the turkey leg. If you get what is it? Is it the turkey? What is it? What's the?
A rabbit's foot.
A rabbit's foot. But what's the thing?
What did I think? A frog's leg?
What's the thing with the turkey?
I got people out there carrying around frog legs for luck.
The wishbone. That's it. Thank you, Jacob. The wishbone. When you take it out of the turkey and you snap it, and whoever gets the biggest piece of the wishbone
is lucky.
Is the lucky one.
Okay. Yeah. Bring that. Bring some of that.
I don't have a turkey laying around.
Well, they sell them at Kroger.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go buy a full turkey.
Go get a turkey. Get us that wishbone.
Debone that thing.
I'll bring a rabbit's foot. And also a frog leg, just in case.
Just in case.
Hey, can't hurt.
We need everything. We need everything. All the good vibes.
We need all the good vibes. We'll come in here. We'll try to figure out how to make ourselves lucky. We'll come in here tomorrow. We'll spend roughly 2 hours just trying to figure out how to be lucky.
Sounds good.
Man, I can't wait.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try to enjoy mine. Let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hook.